I am going to be doing a solo playthrough of Kingswood, and this camera is really far off. Let me fix that. I think that should do, pretty much. Hopefully. Hi, Lycan. Moving it slightly further down. I think it's good now. There we go. That should do it. Can probably zoom in a little further as well, because it's not like you guys need to token pile. But I'm worried the cards will go out of screen if I do that. Let's see if this works. So annoying that I can't see properly on my phone what the orientation on the computer is like before I actually go live. But that looks like I did it. Hi Quinton, welcome back. And anybody else that might be lurking around. So I'll be doing a solo playthrough of Kingswood. In a multiplayer game there would be a scoring track in the middle and you try to be the first person to get to 20 fame by defeating monsters. The solo game is a win-lose puzzle instead of a race to a certain amount of victory points. You lose the game if at the end of your turn there are 4 or more monsters here in the middle. Well, in the forest normally you would put them underneath, but I put them here in the middle because I don't need to put a scoring track here anyway. That way we have a little bit more room on the table. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I win if I defeat 2 of the 3 mightiest beasts in the forest. And those are a genie, a dragon, and I should remember this. A genie, a dragon, and a giant. That was the third one. Pretty sure I forgot the giant the first time I ran through this as well. Some cards might have special effects on them. Those only trigger after you defeat the monster. That's something I wasn't sure about yesterday when we had cards pop up that asked you to reveal a new monster. I'm used to games having you do that right away, but apparently that's something that triggers here after you defeat the monster, which I found a little odd, but it's okay. It's a very clear and concise rulebook. It might be a little too concise at some points, but it is very clearly written, so I do like it. And then we have the King's Guard, who's gonna block us a little bit at certain points. Right now he's just next to all of the locations. And Quinton says he's working through Koningsberg, which is a print and play game. Actually, I think it now has a published edition as well, but it was originally a print and play game, and I think it's still available as such, although not for free, I believe. I think it's a paid print and play in the roll and write genre. Alright, so I picked a house, a guild as it is officially. Yesterday I played the guild called the House of Music. Today I picked the Arcanum. And the ability of the Arcanum is I can skip over any number of locations without paying coins. Normally, you can move any of these 3 adventurer meeples, either one clockwise or one counterclockwise, so one in either direction. And if you want to move it further or you have to skip over boards that are occupied because you have to land on an empty one, then you pay 1 coin for each step you take. In this game I won't have to pay coins for that, so I feel like that should make this run through a little easier. But don't forget if you play it yourself and you don't have this ability that you have to pay for that. Normally there would be 3 monsters in the forest, but that doesn't happen in the solo game. In the solo game, 1 appears at the start of every turn, except the first one. So right now I can just start by moving and gathering some stuff. I started with some coins, a spellbook and a heart. The game comes with 3 types of tokens: spellbooks, swords and hearts. And all locations in the game are the same except 1, which comes from a pile of different locations. In this particular game I have the bakery, which says I can refresh a heart. Things get exhausted after you use them in battle. And then you can refresh either all of them for a coin. There's 1 of each type. And in this case I have a board that says I can refresh 1 for free. And I capture a monster from the forest, which is nice. Capturing means I put it to the side. I can still defeat it later, but that way it's out of the forest, so it can delay my loss, because a loss would trigger when there's 4 monsters in the forest. Alright, let's get going. I think I would like... Well, more of the same is nice, but also nice to have a little bit of each to have wiggle room. So I pick 1 and I move it. And I can move it as far as I want in this case. Normally I would just move it 1 or else I would have to pay. And you can take the action you started on and then the action you land on. So I'm gonna start by triggering this. I pay a coin to gain a new sword. And then I move in some direction to something that's empty. I move to this one in this case. And then I gain 3 coins. Whatever board I started on, that's where the King's Guard will land. And that means next turn I can't move there because the King's Guard is blocking me. There is a guild that says the King's Guard no longer blocks you and you can join him. So there's definitely different houses and different abilities. I like the look of some treetop type of guild, but it was a pretty useless ability for solo play. It lets you reveal an additional monster in the forest before battling, which is useful in a multiplayer game where you have to race to 20 fame, but not in a solo mode where you try not to have a lot of monsters here, because that will trigger a loss. So despite that being pretty, that's probably going to be the last guild I actually play with in solo mode. Although it's probably going to be the first one I try multiplayer, so I get a chance to try all of them. I hope to try a multiplayer game of this over the holidays, but I won't be streaming that. Okay, so that was one turn. And then the start of the second turn, one of these gets flipped. And there's a couple of chapter 1 cards with easy and weak monsters, and after that they become a whole lot stronger. Yeah, this was just the first turn, Annie, so... Difference from the game that you watched yesterday is that I now have a card that has another ability. This one doesn't have me pay coins if I move more than one board. And the new location in this game is I can refresh 1 heart for free and capture a monster. Yesterday I played with the House of Music, which let me capture a monster after using a tavern. I do think having a capture ability somewhere either in your house or on the board is helpful if you play solo. Okay, second turn. I want more cards. Might as well just start beating this one up, I suppose. And keep buying new things. I kind of want to use a heart so I can start using this more. But it works. I think you can, if you can only do one of the two, I think that's still alright. It says and, so I will double check if I can also do it if I can only do either or. Otherwise that would be kind of sucky. Yeah, it says you may do one or both, it says in the rule book. So I can do this just to capture something if I want. Once I defeat this, I reveal and add an extra monster to the forest. So that's not amazing. Let me get a new heart. So I'll move this one very far because I'm allowed to do that without paying coins. Yay. Oh, before I do that, I trigger this board. So I pay a coin. I want another heart. And then I move this one all the way up here. Without paying coins, yay, but normally that would have cost me 2 coins if I didn't have this ability. And I get to capture a monster from the forest, so I'll put this one here to the side. I can put one of them to the side at any one point, and when I fight monsters here, in the forest, I can also choose to fight my captured monster. I can only have 1 captured monster at a time. The ability I had yesterday also let me, whenever I use the tavern, either capture a new monster or fight the one I had captured without having to visit the forest, so that's nice. I think what's interesting is, next turn by the way, after moving this guy. So I think what's interesting is that in the multiplayer game, you kind of want to wait for the monsters to come out and try to do a couple of ones at a time so that you can have a bigger turn and score a bunch of points at once. Obviously, if you wait too long, someone might beat you to it. But I feel like in that game, it's nice to have them build up a while because you can defeat as many as you want in a single go. While in the solo game, you have to prevent them adding up too much. So I think it's nice how this plays quite differently. I know some people don't like that. They want a solo game to be very true to the multiplayer game. I like it. I like that this has a different feel so that I can play this a whole bunch without gaining too much of an advantage when I play it multiplayer. Because it will play very differently multiplayer, I believe. So I think that's good. I'll move this a little bit further up so that another card can fit underneath here if needed. Eee. Totally didn't do that right. Okay, there we go. Next turn. Uh-oh, a cat. Hi, cat. After I defeat this one, I get to refresh 1 heart, again with refreshing of hearts. I need monsters that give me hearts. I don't have those. Yesterday I had a location, just so people watching this know a bit about what's in the game. Yesterday I had a location that let me use the location the King's Guard was on, which I thought was pretty nice and flexible as well. I'm just gonna get more stuff. I have a lot of money. I'll pay a coin to get another spell book. I'll move here. I like not having to pay. I think that should really make my life a lot easier. Because yesterday I ran into the problem where I couldn't really move much at one point, or I was short on coins because pretty much everything costs coins. So this sounds really powerful. We'll see if that's the case. Start of my next turn, we'll get a new monster. It has a reminder on it, if you get another type of monster further down in the deck, it would score you more fame. The points underneath are fame, but that's irrelevant in the solo mode. It's only relevant in the multiplayer game. I can start battling stuff at this point. I probably will. I have a whole bunch of tokens anyway. I think I would like more money before I do that. I might as well. I don't need it that badly yet, but I'll do it. So I'll start moving this one. That gets me 3 coins at the start. And then I'll move it to the forest. And I'll first battle this one. And coins are ones you actually spend. So if there's a coin here or anywhere else in the game, you spend it. But if you battle with tokens, you just flip them upside down. They become exhausted. So I flip down a heart and a spell book to defeat a ghost. There we go. And now I can fight more if I want, including the one I have put to the side here. I'll do this one first, flip down another spell book, spend a coin. Now I get to refresh 1 heart. That still makes this one kind of useless, but that's alright. So I refresh a heart. And I think I'm just gonna do this one as well, and after that I can start refreshing for a while. So I'll spend a sword and a coin. And because I defeat this one, it says reveal and add an extra monster to the forest, so I put a new one up here. I am allowed to defeat that straight away if I want. And I could, I have enough money anyway. So that's possible. I can also wait another turn. But I think it's alright to do it now. Well, actually it might not be useful to do it now. You know what, I'll wait a turn. I started my turn here, so that's where the King's Guard goes. Next turn, we'll flip over a new card. Again with the hearts, you guys. I'll just start getting some more stuff. Actually, I might move this one out now. Yeah, I did manage to find that online, and that Annie. And it did say that all of the abilities should only trigger after you defeat a monster, because people were discussing if that made the solo mode harder or not. And what the use of it would be in a solo mode or in a multiplayer mode. It's really interesting. Some people find the solo mode really difficult and other people feel like it's really easy. I think the luck factor is probably quite high, but the rulebook does say you can pick which guild and which special location you use, which will, I think, help balance. If you draw them randomly, I think certain combos can be kind of impossible solo, and others might be way too easy. So I do try to pick somewhat balanced things, hopefully. I'm gonna move this one. So I first beat up the Toll Troll, spend 3 coins. Where do I want to move after that? Everything else kind of... Oh no, everything else costs a coin as well. I don't want to do that yet. No, I don't want to do that yet. I'll probably wait a little while. I'll go... I should leave that one put. I'll pay a coin to refresh my sword or get a new sword. Now I'll pay a coin and get a new sword. Because the new ones come back to this side anyway, so it's kind of the same thing as flipping this one over, except now I have a total of 3. Then I move it here without paying coins. Remember guys, without my guild, you would have had to pay a coin for that. And then I pay a coin to refresh my books. Alright. And then the King's Guard goes there. And then I flip over a new one, and now it's time to go fight some stuff. I'll fight both of these, I think. That sounds like a good plan. I think the tricky thing with the King's Guard, without the location I had in play yesterday and without the house that lets you visit the King's Guard, is that once you leave the forest, the King's Guard will go there. So the next turn you won't be able to beat anything up there. But I think that's going to be alright. I could wait one more turn and build up a little more, but I don't think that's wise. I think it's better to do this now. So it says I may fight any number of monsters. I'm going to do this one first. Flip down the sword and the heart. And there we go. And now I get to do that one. So I flip down a spell book, spend my last coin. And it now says refresh 1 heart. So I'm going to do that. And then I move here and get 3 more coins because I ran out of coins. And you need those things for bloody everything in this game. And the king's guard goes here. I should not forget to take that one out of the forest. Next turn. As you can see, it goes really quickly. I've only been here 15 minutes and I've taught the game and played through quite a few turns already, which is good. By the way, the bosses all require 6 tokens, no coins, and then 3 of one type and 3 of another. So I'm gonna definitely need more coins if I want to be able to, I meant more tokens if I want to be able to defeat bosses once they come up. And obviously if they come up later, you're gonna have to defeat a whole bunch more stuff along the way. But if they come up too early, the forest might overflow before you get enough stuff. So I think that's an interesting balance as well. Alright, more tokens. I'm gonna... Oh, this one is annoying now. I'm gonna spend a coin to get another book. There we go. And I'm gonna go here to... Or am I gonna go here and get another heart? I'm gonna get another heart, actually. Again, spend a coin for that. And then he goes there. We flip over a new one. Uh-oh, that's gonna require a bunch of coins. Let's start moving this one. I'll grab 3 coins for that. 1, 2, 3. And then I can move here and either buy a new one or refresh them. I think I'm gonna go refresh those by spending a coin. Alright, next turn. So at the start of the turn you get one of these, not at the end. So I do have a little bit of wiggle room here. It's good that I grabbed the 3rd heart because it looks like I'll need that. And now I'm going to move... Oh, I should still move him. I'm probably going to move this one and capture a monster from the forest. And I'm considering if I want to take out this one so I can save it for later or this one. This one looks a lot tougher. I'm going to take out the troll boss. And capture him so I can deal with him later and free up the forest a little bit. And then I'll move here. I may fight any number of revealed monsters. I can only fight one of these 2 because I don't have 4 coins left, so I'm gonna go for this one instead. Although it would be good to have coins left, so maybe that's not good. But eventually I'm gonna have to deal with him. There might be another one in here, and we also had the troll boss, so I think it'd be good to get him out of the way because I'm worried about getting into a situation where everything is gonna cost more coins than I can possibly earn. Oh, but this one lets me refresh all swords. Ah. Well, then the other one is more interesting. Alright, I'll wait a turn to deal with you. Okay, so I'm gonna spend 1 coin and flip down a sword to deal with the moon sprite, which would immediately add 1 more. Okay, well, that's really unfortunate. That might pose a problem soon, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna do this. This one says exhaust 3 of them, but 1 of them gets thrown away. And then the fireball gets removed, which is great. And then he goes where I started, so that's over there. And then my next turn we reveal a new one. I'm gonna need so much more money. Alright, this could prove problematic real quick, you guys, but we'll see. I think it's best to move this one there now. So for 1 coin, I'm gonna refresh these 2 hearts, so they have enough stuff to beat this one up next time. And then I move here to gain 3 coins, and I have enough to deal with one of the toll trolls as well. He goes over there. Next turn. Oof, that's one of the big bad bosses. I so don't have enough for that yet. That's alright. We'll make it work later. Oh, I should have refreshed this one for dealing with the fireball. I forgot to do that after I defeated the fireball. And it's definitely a risk with this one. It can play so quickly that you might forget steps, especially if you're multitasking like me by watching a chatbox. And like instead I remembered from yesterday, the game was good at getting problematic real quick. I think I got it now though. As in, I don't mean I've beaten the game, but I feel like this right now I kind of managed to save myself. I'm gonna beat up a toll troll by spending 3 coins. Get rid of a toll troll. And then I would like to get rid of this guy, so obviously I'm activating the adventure in the forest. There we go. And now I need to start getting some stuff refreshed, so I'll move this one. I cannot capture anything, so this one is a little wasteful. I think I'm just gonna do this. And then for 1 coin, refresh all of my books. Okay, so he goes into the forest. I beat up the rat, so that one goes away. And that actually had to do that before moving him. I'm doing things in the wrong order, sorry guys. Next turn. Goblin gang. Hello, teeny tiny goblin I can actually beat up. Well, that's not actually true, I'm short on hearts, but I can fix this. I'm gonna move this one, get 3 new coins, which looks like something I'm gonna need anyway. And move that one to the tavern. Not having to pay for skipping boards really helps, by the way. Then I pay a coin to refresh. Do I want to refresh the hearts yet? Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna need to buy a new one anyway. I'll buy a new one first so that I can also deal with this guy. Okay, then the King's Guard goes here. We flip a new one. Alright, so I pay another coin to now refresh all of my hearts. And then I can wander over to the forest again and defeat either 2 or the big bad guy that I'm gonna need to win. But it seems smarter to defeat these 2 first, because otherwise we're still stuck with quite a few of these, and we need to make sure the forest doesn't overrun. And none of these destroy any of my tokens, so this seems like the better call for now. So, flipping all of these down. And then defeating both of these. And then the King's Guard goes here. Next turn. A tiny little ghost. So you can see they range quite a bit from how strong they are. Even if you don't consider the big bosses. Alright. By the way, if you play with more players, the chapter 1 cards will be more of them. So if you play with 1 or 2 players, it's the amount that you see now. And with 3 or 4 players, it adds a few more. And then with 5 players, it adds even more of those. I haven't checked if those are duplicates of ones I already have, or if there's actually unique monsters in there. Should probably look at those at some point. The art on this is pretty cool. I really like this grumpy genie dude. Alright, going to fight stuff. I'm gonna pay my teeny tiny last coin to refresh all of my swords. I hope I got this in time. I might have made a mistake here. I might need to get more hearts refreshed first. Might not be smart. But I think this will help too, because I don't know what the last one is. And if I put this one here, I get coins, so I can at least get rid of this one the next turn. I think this is the safer bet. I'll do that. Lycan likes the goblos, he said. Don't you always like the goblins in pretty much any game? But yeah, these are really adorable. I mean, just look at the little goblin gang. Just look at it. Alright. I did that, and then I moved this one up there. And then we put something new in the forest. Ooh, gain a coin. I like that. Oh, that also requires hearts. All 3 of these require hearts. Okay, I think I'm in trouble then. I am. I had to defeat at least 2 of these in the current round. That's gonna be a problem. I can only get rid of this guy right now. And then the next turn the King's Guard will be in the forest, so I won't be able to use the forest again. So that means at the end of my next turn there's gonna be 4, which means it's overrun, which means I will lose. It was worth a shot though. I mean, I have 6 tokens, so I thought it was really worth a shot. But unfortunately, it looks like this is gonna be another loss for me. I felt like I came kind of close though. So, just for the heck of it, I'm gonna spend 3 coins on the Toll Troll to beat him up. And then I move this one. I can't really move it here. I'll move it here. And you might be like, but it says capture a monster. But I already have a captured monster, so I'm not allowed to capture another one. Maybe it's not actually smart. It feels tempting to take out a really strong one so you don't have to deal with it for a while. But that's only 1 card. It might actually... Maybe it would be smarter to capture small ones, and then once you defeat some smaller ones anyway, take that one along with you. I don't know. Anyway, I would have been able to refresh 1 heart. And then unfortunately the King's Guard goes here. So at the start of my 4th turn, this one appears. And now I would have to start battling something, but I can't because the King's Guard is blocking me. No, that was his affection ability, like, and he asked, can't you capture something or fight something you captured by going to the tavern? But no. Unfortunately not. One more turn would have done it, though. By the way, I didn't actually explain this because I didn't need it this particular game, because I don't need as many coins due to the Arcanum, but there is a second option. Instead of moving one of the adventurer meeples, you can move the King's Guard off a board and collect 2 coins. So had I had one more turn, because I don't have any coins, so I can't really trigger any of these boards. So had I been able to defeat 2 monsters the previous turn, there would have still been quite a few right now. Then I would have probably opted to get rid of this one, grab 2 coins, and then on my next turn I would have been able to move into the forest more swiftly and start beating up some guys, hopefully. Although I wasn't on this board, so that still would have been difficult. So yeah, solo run through in 25 minutes, guys. Like I said, it's a really quick game. But I do feel it's interesting. I like games that are really quick to set up, quick to play through, but still have quite a bit of depth and that aren't too easy to win. I feel like a lot of the shorter games can become a little easy, or they have quite a bit of setup time. I feel like this one is nice as a filler type of thing without being simplistic like you would maybe think when I say the word filler. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this game. It's definitely one that's good to like hit the table on a lunch break or something. Alrighty, that was it then for tonight. I'll be back at 7 p.m. tomorrow with a Christmas edition of Patchwork Doodle. If you want to play along and you want a sheet, it's on the Polish publisher's website. I've also linked it on the Nona Knows Games Facebook page, where I've made a play along event for tomorrow's game of Patchwork Doodle. So you can also get it there, and if you don't have Facebook, you can email me at nonaknowsgames@gmail.com, or simply contact me on Discord if you had that. But yes, Annie, I did indeed lose, because the King's Guard was on here on the turn that the 4th monster appeared. I had 6 tokens the previous round, and everything that came out had hearts, and that was the one thing I couldn't beat at that point, so unfortunately I lost. Alright. Without the I. You have 1 letter too many in Arcanum. It's not Arcanium like him, but close enough. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see some of you tomorrow, and I will eventually get a win in this game, even if it kills me. So expect more playthroughs of this game until I manage to actually beat it. Please keep cheering me on, and I'm sure at some point we'll pull it off. Bye everybody, have a great evening.